Here's an interesting project. How often do you see a CB radio in a modern motor coach? Right, here's the antenna we want to use on our CB radio install for this 2021 Newmar. It is a Firestick. It's a no ground plane antenna. That's kind of necessary for fiberglass coaches. The first things we had to do were to access this space. We're going to install it on the outside of the coach driver's side above the window. And to get up in there, remove the trim. So all of this, the shades are held up by a series of screws. There they are. And so all of those came out. They were square bit heads. And up inside here, we now can see the cap. And it's right in that hole, right back there behind the wire. And now I'll just show you quickly the side mount. There's your Firestick side mount bracket, and so you have two main lugs on here, then you have a gasket. This bracket goes on the inside of the coach, the mount goes on the outside, and the antenna threads right into the top. The radio is going to get installed right here along the hand side, or the left hand cup holder rack for the driver. Now on the Newmar 2021 4369, you have to remove this, which is your MCD shades. It has a trim panel here. That trim panel is screwed up to the top, and so you can see we backed those screws out, and now we have access up in the top rail. There is the fiberglass cap of the entire coach. It has a little observation window cut out for all of the wiring harness, and that is where we have mounted the outside drill holes to hold the antenna mount. And what I've done is I've put just a very small hole, drilled it there. I'll probably cleat that down with that existing cleat. And then we ran the wire back out underneath here. I'm going to bring it up through the dash, and then my mission will be to thread it through the dash and probably fish it out one very small hole down here, just like I did on the other one. Here, depends on how I can get to it. And then I'm going to go under the windshield pillar, the A-pillar cover, and I'm going to run it up and then bring another little hole out right here. Here's our antenna connection. It's been run through this panel, behind the panel, and then it's run back up through into the dash. So here we have it under the dash right here, right? So that wire needs to get under this dash and out over to this windshield pillar. So we're going to have to drill a very small hole right over here in the dash plastic cover, and then put our antenna wire through that hole. Well, you didn't get to watch that, but we now have a very small hole. You can see it on the side of that air conditioning vent. All right, there's our little hole. There's the coat hanger. Now we have the coat hanger out through here. And what has to happen is we're going to have to fish this wire. It's our antenna for the roof. We're going to have to fish this wire through that outside casing. All right, we are on the outside of the coach. Hard to tell from here, but this is the window into the driver's side. And then right up here is where I have marked the two holes that go through. And so basically what we're going to do now is we're going to go drill into the outside of the fiberglass cap, and we're going to bring the cord in through there, and then we're going to tuck it down right here. You're going to see the A-pillar. All right, instead of starting that bit fresh, I'm going to take an awl or a punch, and I'm going to punch a little point for that drill bit to sit. That's a gloss punch I'm going to use to mark the first hole. And note to self, there's not a hammer on this coach that isn't this giant cobalt. All right, and we've tapped in a little hole right there, a seat for that first drill bit to go through. This is your mount. And as you can see, it has two brass threaded shafts that go right through the side cap. The top is where the antenna is screwed into the... All right, there's our two holes for the antenna base. We'll pull out our little thread wire with fuse just to see, you know, that we could see the hole on the other side inside the cab. Right now I just want to size the 2 bolts and make sure that they'll fit through the wire holes. I mean through the bolt holes. And there you have the mount. Well, there it is. Apologies for the wind. There's the Firestick antenna with the side mount. I went ahead and siliconed around the base to make sure, also around the holes. That's the antenna with, I think, about 2/3 of the antenna above the roof line, maybe a little less. But our goal was not to have too much elevation on the antenna and still get it clear of the roof line. So there is your install, and I think the exterior antenna has come out pretty well. We're happy with that. There she is on the coach. That gives you an idea. It has a slightly negative rake on it, so that when we clear objects, it'll do a better job of brushing under. You can see how she looks from the front. And I think that's what we'd call a successful install. All right, here's how we went about the install. You can see here the bracket is installed right there at the bottom side of the armrest. I just tucked it in right next to the driver. And then down below, you'll see that I've got my positive and ground and a fused connection on it. So that's... We may squelch that out a bit, but there you can see the full install. And so we're all back in order. We did run that power cord right up under the cover here. And just a quick note, I always label my, if you look right here, you can see there's the CB radio antenna. It was a spare power as well, that is this. And so I've got the CB radio labeled where it goes into the power cord. This is an extra power that was available here. Well, I'm here in Larry's CB shop in McKinney, and Larry's working on this radio and gonna tune it up for us. I think we'll check out all of the sounds and the mic and power, and then what else are we doing here?
Well, if you want to tune up, I'll open the cover up and get her tuned up for you.
Let's go that route.
All right.
All right, let's see how it goes. Available here. So I think we're in really good shape. Everything's done like we want. We've labeled all of our wires as Newmar does. We've got this great Velcro cover that goes on top. And so, yep, for now, I'd say we're done and dusted. So from RV Shop and Chef, shuss.